Got my coffee going. We are going to talk some sports in this one, my friends. Okay. Oh, okay. So one thing that I must say is that the YouTube streaming version is much easier. So let's get into this. Thank you for tuning in to another edition of Talkin Sports with Mark Live. We're going to get into this one. So as you know, my friends, last night there was a UFC fight night between Ian Machado Gary and Carlos Prates. Okay, now Machado Gary and absolutely outclassed Prates. Okay, now to say that Prates does not belong with the top contenders. No. He indeed does belong with the top contenders, and I think he just needs like a little bit more uh, brushing up in terms of fighting top tier competition. But man, that dude is dangerous. That fifth round was absolutely wild. But one thing that people don't, well, now they probably see it. So I've been saying that Machado Gary is a absolute technician in the octagon. Like he's just so damn good, man. He mixes up everything. So will he be champion? I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised because the Shao fight was absolutely a madness. It was an excellent fight. So Machado Gary, so I do see him being a champion. When? Oh, I have no idea about that. But yeah, let's go into the results real quick. My oh my, what a good card. It was a good card. I think it was a good card. I think it was a good card. I think. so so the first fight we will start off with Randy Brown versus Nicholas Dalby. Randy Brown got the win via KO in the second round. Now moving on to one of the most fights I've ever seen, Michel Pereira Magomedov. Oh my god, that dude's done. Okay, Michel Pereira, he's done. So the knock on him was he needs to stop fighting cans and he needs to fight top level contenders like Silverman. Not with that gas tank. Not with that gas. I couldn't believe my fucking eyeballs, man. First round, the dude was gassed. So yeah, Magomedov does indeed get the decision victory, but this looks really bad for Michel Pereira because he was supposed to be like this dark horse, which I was cool with. Okay, dark horse within the middleweight division, cool, cool. Oh, okay, now moving on to Giga Chikadze versus David Onama. So, so it's crazy how sports work. How one guy will merge and he will just be horrifying. Like, like, like for example, Giga Chikadze, horrible that liver kick. Oh my god. Then, then he fights someone. Then for whatever reason, he does not look the same anymore, and that is what happened to Giga when you fight Calvin Cato. He hasn't looked the same. Uh, Same with Dom Reyes. Dom Reyes is just murking people, fights John Jones, loses, and he has a bit of a skid, but then he reinvents himself and he gets his confidence back, and he is now murking people. So I mean, the same thing could happen with Giga, but right now he does not look the same. So he is now 15-5. Now moving on to Lionheart. Lionheart, he made his final walk to the octagon last night, and so it's not the way you want to go out. Brutal first round TKO by Zhang Mingyang, and yeah, this guy is terrifying, and yeah. So congratulations to Anthony Smith for having a great career. I have nothing bad to say about him. Uh, uh, so he played that, and if he would have been younger, then maybe it would have been different. No, I'm not gonna bash him over that. Okay, I'm not gonna bash him over that. So I'm gonna let him have his time in the sun because he was one of my favorite fighters. So I love Anthony Smith. Props on retirement. He is indeed doing the right thing. You have no business staying in the game, taking damage, and the next thing you know, you turn into some damn vegetable, right? Like for example, like Dustin Poirier, he's doing the right thing. To one final, you have the bag, right? You have the bag. Go in, you get it out. Boom, you're out. Okay. Okay, now moving on to the main event fight. Ian Machado Gary versus Carlos Pradas, and this was a 100% outclass up until the fifth round, which it looked like he was going to go out. So I thought the ref was going to step in. Credit to the ref for not stepping in. Okay, credit to the ref for not stepping in. So after the fight, Machado Gary said, "No, no, no, no. He was 100% conscious the whole time, and he was in there. He was fine, but just taking a little bit of hits. But he was there the whole time. He was fine." Now, do I believe that? No, I don't believe that. But I wasn't there. It wasn't him, so I'm gonna take his word for it. But yeah, that fifth round got hairy as fuck. But Machado Gary does get the win, which he took this fight on 21, 25 days notice, and he picks up the W. He is indeed in line for the next title shot, which I believe, or I mean, shit, we still have to wait for Shavkat, well, Bilal taking him out of the Atlanta. That will be a very interesting fight. But yeah, it was a good card, man. Good card. Fight night card, it was nice. Okay, my friends, now let's move on to the the absolute wild finish that occurred in the NBA. That is such a Clippers way to lose, right? Here, I'm gonna start out. Or maybe let's see, because Shavkat did beat Machado Gary. It's a little bit of trolling. It's a little bit of trolling. Trolling. So Shavkat, what is Shavkat? I think he's still injured. Okay, now it doesn't show the fights that he fights. I don't know why he does this. Chalka, but he just beat Machado Gary. Yeah, that was back. And when was this? Okay, this was back in December 7th, 2024. Now I believe that he's injured, right? So, so yeah. So Machado Gary will serve as the backup for the UFC 315 main event. Now, with that being said, that the obvious number one contender is Shavkat, right? But he's dealing with the injuries, right? But no, you can't be doing that because Sean Brady said that he's number one contender, that he's willing to fight. No. Shavkat is next in line for the title shot, in my opinion. Okay, now what you can do is you could have Machado Gary versus Sean Brady for the number one contender fight. I think that sounds right. Sounds like that's what you could do. You could have Machado Gary versus Sean Brady for the number one contender uh, fight. Yeah, because Shavkat, he's next. Shavkat is next, but he hasn't uh, fought on rightfully so. There's no reason to fight. So yeah, so obviously, Shavkat is indeed next in line. Okay, uh, now moving on to the NBA. Yeah, what a Clippers way to lose in absolute devastating fashion. Lose via game-winning dunk. That's unbelievable. So I posted the clip. Go check it out. So the Clippers, they lost. Uh, the series is now the with with Denver, I believe. No, it's tied. Tied. Okay, so the OKC Thunder won. We all knew that was gonna happen. We all knew that was gonna happen, right? We all knew that was gonna happen. So the Warriors, they do indeed get a much needed victory, 104-93 over the Houston Rockets. They are now up 2-1. The Pistons and Knicks are playing right now. I'm watching this game. The the New York Knicks are slapping the shit out of the Detroit Pistons, 33-23. But I really don't care about that because I am proud of the Pistons. The see the Magic, yeah, they're still. Oh my God, the Magic actually won 2-1. The Bucks also won 117 to 101. So there was a huge game for the Lakers being down 2-1. That's a huge game for them. Okay, now moving on to the NHL. So I had the Lakers going to the finals. I'm gonna stand by that. But I did indeed have the Minnesota Timberwolves being a dark horse because if they get hot, they could do damage. Currently in the NHL playoffs, we have the Winnipeg Jets and the St. Louis Blues, one of my bandwagon teams, tied at 1. Winnipeg Jets, they are indeed leading that series 2-1. The Hurricanes, they are leading the Devils 2-1 in that series. The Capitals, my other bandwagon team, which I want to see Alexander Ovechkin win one last Stanley Cup before he rides off into the sunset. So the Capitals, they they're up 2-1. My Kings are up 2-1. Oh, I can't wait for that game tonight. I can't wait for that. My God, the last game Friday, that was an absolute disaster. Stupid ass challenge. Stupid ass challenge by my Kings, by Jim Hiller, the coach. Stupid. Why would you challenge that? Why the hell would you challenge that? Putting the Edmonton power play on the ice, which they are not the same as last season, but they are still pretty damn good. Sure enough, what the hell happens? They end up scoring, and they go on to win. But I do think that my Kings are the better team, so I do think they will win. And so I have the Kings and the Washington Capitals going to the Stanley Cup playoffs, but I want to see the Toronto Maple Leafs win a damn Stanley Cup. And yeah, what team do you guys like? Who do you think is going to win the Stanley Cup this season? So that being said, my friends, I love doing this. It is always an absolute pleasure. So coming to you live from beautiful California, thank you for tuning in to another live stream, Talking Sports with Mark Live. It is always a absolute pleasure. I hope you have a beautiful Sunday. Y'all have a good one.